What's good, you guys? It's your girl, Dr. Beauty, coming to you with my own version of the Bonnet Chronicles, so to speak. I didn't wake up too long ago, and it's a study day, so this is pretty much how I study at home. Just chilled out, no makeup, hair up, glasses, quote Drake song here. But I woke up early because I just wanted to get a lot of work done today and actually catch the sunrise, which is kind of hard from where I live because my window faces a courtyard, so can't really appreciate it as much as the people like down in Brickell who have access to the waterways and they can see the sun actually come up. So by the time I see it come up, it's gotta be like all the way up in the sky. Whereas like when I lived in the islands, I could see that John come up as soon as it came up because we were at sea level. But that's besides the point. I'm so grateful to see another day and grateful to make another video. I know it's been a long time, and I was just thinking of what content to make and kind of just got lost in the creative process. But I just wanted to spit some wisdom that came to me the past few, I guess it's been months, it's October now. My last video I think was in July or August, probably August or September. So I've just been in this place where I'm kind of just taking each day as it goes. I've always been somebody who likes to plan out every single detail of my life, and at the end of the day, you realize that God's probably laughing at all of your plans. Because first of all, each day is not guaranteed. So the fact that you're breathing, walking, talking today isn't by your power, but by God's power. So you kind of just have to accept that and do what you can with that day that you've been blessed with. So that's what I've been doing. Also, not living according to other people's timelines. Obviously, social media is a chance for us to display what's going on in our lives, and you see everyone at a certain point, whether it's in their jobs, whether it's in their relationships, whether it's, personal fitness. It's easy to compare yourself, but you really just have to compare yourself not to others, but to how you were the previous day. And that will give you so much more motivation because that's your race that you're running. Another thing I've realized is as I'm getting to that 30 year, I still got 3 years left, but people who are closer to their 30s seem to feel as though they've got it figured all out. No, you never really do, I don't think. I think you always have more experience and you always have a better appreciation for life. Well, hopefully, most people do. But you never really have it all figured out. And so lately I've kind of just been staying away from people who act as though they have it all figured out. And by acting, I mean anything that you say or do, they've got a reason why that isn't right in the scheme of life. And to me, we're all right in our own way, based on our own truths, although there is one truth. But it's like, you shouldn't live as a judgmental person. I think being so judgmental is a reflection of you harboring some type of grudges towards something that happened in the past, and it's like, you just gotta move forward and be accepting towards everyone's point of view. Does it mean that you change your view to something that's morally wrong? Of course not. But you kind of just have to accept the fact that everyone has a brain and everyone can think for themselves, and if that's the conclusion that they've arrived to, then so be it. And you can choose whether or not you want them to be in your space or not. And another thing too, which I've always pretty much done, is keeping things to myself, but I've been even more private when it comes to certain things, especially certain projects or friendships that I'm developing, because I just want it to be sacred until it actually germinates into something that I can be like, okay, now it's ready to make an announcement about. Premature announcements, try not to do those, trust me, because at least if you have to take an L, you can take an L in private. Like, it's just better to, let it germinate, let it come to fruition first, and then talk about it. Another thing that happened recently was I saw my first patient. Well, I didn't see them, but I knew of a first patient that died. That's never easy. As a medical student, you kind of just go into every patient's room. It's a standard routine, you see how they're doing after you've washed your hands and all that. You talk to them, you do your physical exam, you do your review of systems. And it's a little bit different when you're in the ICU because sometimes they're more ill and they can provide that information to you, and it's just the family there. And especially when they're at a point where they could be expected to die soon, it's kind of a challenge to figure out what to say to the family. You just have to be empathetic, and you can't really promise anything. You can't promise that, hey, your relative's going to be okay. You can just promise that you're going to do the best that you can. And that's really what we did for that patient. This patient was actually a physician all his life and only recently retired like 2 years ago. And he was like in his 80s, had some respiratory issues. Eventually, he ended up having pulmonary edema, which they tried to tap, and then that was in the right lung. Then the left lung got pulmonary edema, and eventually he just started decompensating, like we thought that he probably had a cancer because he just had a unilateral pleural effusion, and he had lost like 30 pounds over the past few months. But it was just so late in the game that the family didn't even want to find out if he had cancer or not. So it was just really sad, and there's not really much you can do but offer your words of consolation and try to hold it together, And I think that is something that has made me appreciate life and health even more, and family too. Not that I didn't before, but it's like some of these people in the ICU don't even have family, and they have to go through that, probably not even aware of what they're going through, or they're not able to vocalize what they're going through. So yeah, there's that. That's made me more appreciative of everything, and of having these encounters with these patients, not taking it for granted, and being grateful that the families even allow us to come in there and learn. Last month, we had a failed attempt at going to the Drake concert. Why? Because he canceled. So it wasn't on us. It was on Drake. Okay? Like, I had my whole outfit ready. And, man, this guy disappointed me so bad. It was supposed to start at like 7 o'clock. It was 3. Oh, wait, let me go get the kettle. Okay, yeah. Every morning I try to have some tea. It's like my morning ritual because my throat feels dry and like my sinuses, I just have like kind of bad allergies at this time of the year. So, but either way, even in the summer, I'm always drinking tea. There's no quote today, but this is like a lemon green tea, and then I have like a ginger tea that I put in there too. But oh yeah, about Drake. I had my whole outfit. I was ready, and my roommate was like, "Girl, you might as well stop getting ready." I was like, bruh, thank God I didn't put on like all my makeup. So I was like, what happened? And I realized like when I was in the shower, I got a call from an 800 number who didn't leave a message. And then I was like, seriously. Like when I woke up that morning, first of all, I prepared for this concert by listening to like every Drake album for like the past 2 weeks, getting my lyrics straight, getting like all the hair, outfits together, shoes together, skincare was on fleek, and I still obviously I try to do that all the time, but like if Drake, and it felt like Christmas that morning. Like I was smiling the whole day. I was smiling as if like someone just gave me $1 million that morning, and then come home and find out that ish. So I was like, man, I have all this energy. Let's do something about it. And I ended up just like, I think binging Power and then like falling asleep until we decided to go to Live because we still had tickets to the Live Migos after party, which of course they weren't going to be there, but they were still in Miami. Real shady stuff, real shady stuff. And then apparently Drake was fighting a flu and he was feeling just fine for the New Orleans concert a few days later. So I don't know what happened, but he rescheduled the concert to Tuesday in November, like a random Tuesday in November. And I'm like, this was supposed to be the littest weekend ever. And I never do anything really. Like, I'm always studying. So I was like so pissed off because Friday was supposed to be the concert and Migos after party. Saturday was supposed to be a Drake after party at 11, which I was so happy about because I only paid $40 for my ticket and everyone else was paying like $200 because they waited too late to buy their tickets. And then Sunday I wasn't gonna go, but that was supposed to be Drake at Live, and I was like, that's a little bit too much for me. I don't have that much energy anymore to do 3 days in a row unless it's my birthday. And that's when I really pushed myself. But I was like, nah, I gotta study. So that none of that happened. The whole weekend was perfectly sunny and perfectly fine, and we didn't do nothing. So that's gonna be Tuesday in November, I think like the 13th and 14th. And I mean, I'm pretty sure they're still gonna have after parties and stuff, but like I have to go to Chronicles, so I don't know if that's gonna happen. If it does, it's like it's gonna really be cutting it close. This weekend was the BET Hip Hop Awards in Miami. I didn't go anywhere. Like I actually okay. So like Friday they had this opportunity for you to go be in a Cardi B performance at Live. And you would have to go at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon in your club wear in like Miami lunch traffic to Fontainebleau and be there. And I was like, you know, my preceptor didn't let me out until like 12:30 that day. So even if I wanted to go, it would have just been like near impossible. I would have had to have my clothes in the car and hope that I could get there in 30 minutes, which is probably not going to happen because even if I get there, then I gotta find parking. So it was just like, whatever, let me just go home and be a good student and study. It was a very chill weekend. It was carnival too. I didn't participate in anything. Like I literally just studied and worked out and went to the store and went to church, which sometimes you need that because you just get so lost in the hustle and bustle of like going to the clinic every single day, and like it just becomes a routine. So you need that time to really just be introspective and like look at what the heck you've been studying these past few weeks. So yeah, I am probably not going to be going home for Thanksgiving, but I'll be going home for Christmas hopefully, because it's just such a short break. Like last year I really tried to make it work, and you know, it wasn't easy. Like going home from, I think I was home on Wednesday and went home on Friday, and that was like really hectic. So, or was it Saturday? One of those. And that's why I don't think I'm going to do that this year. So, another thing that's new is I'm doing this vegan challenge with Maya. So, I think I told you guys on the video where I talked about where I met Maya here in Miami that she does this vegan challenge, and basically if somebody gets chosen as the first prize winner, she takes them on a vacation. So you can do either vegan, raw vegan, or alkaline vegan. I chose vegan. You know, we're gonna start a little bit slow, even though I've been slowly phasing out meat from my diet. I think vegan is fine. So this one is a 28-day challenge, and it forces you to really be creative with what you eat. Like I went to the store yesterday. I got a lot of like cashew nuts, almonds, dried cranberries, chocolate covered raisins for like snacks, and also these like kale and spinach chips, which I am trying to like, even though there's a lot of foods that say that they're vegan, a lot of them tend to be processed, so I want to stay away from processed foods in general. But these ones they have very limited ingredients, so I have faith that they're still healthy. And then I got these like gluten-free spinach wraps to substitute for bread, which I've been doing for a long time anyway. Mandarin oranges, blueberries, and then of course I always have a whole bunch of spinach and mixed romaine lettuce to make salads. So actually, right before I started this challenge, I was doing a little bit of a keto diet where I cut out, most of the carbohydrates, and I was eating just protein, like eggs, the protein part of the eggs, and like if anything, I would have like 3 eggs with 2 parts protein and 1 part carb, like the yolk. And I put like a whole bunch of like mushrooms, peppers, spinach, like everything healthy in there. So, and then I'll have fruit with it. So I started noticing a difference. Obviously, I was also working out too. I've been doing like Insanity and this like 21-day fix, which, I think all of these programs are pretty much the same. It's just the fact that you're moving around consistently for like 30 minutes a day and getting your heart rate up. But I did notice a lot more results doing these type of like aerobic exercises and plyometric stuff than when I was at the gym. Because when I'm at the gym, I usually do like the treadmill, the ellipticals, the weight machines, but I noticed my heart rate wasn't really getting up to where the maximum potential. So like when I'm doing Insanity, it is like you're gonna be sweating within the first 3 minutes, and it actually becomes fun. Like the first day I really dreaded it. I was like, oh, so like, it's really insane. The insane part about it isn't really the workout is hard per se. It's a mental process, like you just trying to do more reps, and then you're doing the same thing every time. So that's why I tried to do the 21-day fix. I had the Beachbody workout pass or membership, whatever. I'll like put the link below in case you guys want it. But you have access to like so many different workouts, like Pilates, kickboxing, like yoga, everything. Because usually I used to like just watch these videos on YouTube, and those were just fine. But this actually, like, you follow it every single day. They give you their own diet plan, but I'm like, I just want to combine it with my vegan challenge, and it's working pretty well. Now, you may be asking, like, what is my ultimate goal? I don't really have one particular goal, because I think if you keep it consistent and start off small, it's better. But I just want to be more toned and more muscular, and I think that's been working. Like, I already saw a change in my face, in my arm. I just want to be able to feel more energized every day, which I already am starting to be feeling. I want to talk about self-worth. Okay. Now, the past few years, I could say, I've been in some really crazy situations when it comes to friends, relationships, whatever, or starting of relationships. And it sometimes when it goes left, it makes you question your worth. And it's like, you can't help but do that because you're human. But I just want to tell anybody out there who's going through that, like, don't question your worth at all. That's their loss, not yours. And doesn't speak anything about you. There's a lot of times where you might be progressing in a particular part of your life, and people just don't want to be around you for that growth. And they kind of just want to come to get what they can when you've reached your goal, or they were satisfied with you being below them but not past them, or they didn't think you would get to where you are, and so they don't want to be in your presence because it just makes them feel a type of way. And it's like, you can't let that reflect on your self-worth and your perception of yourself. So even if it means having a season or 2 or 3 by yourself in solitude, don't feel bad about that. Use that as a time to really re-energize and refocus, because those seasons are preparing you for the next level. I went through that. Sorry guys, this tea is really good. Several times, and it's like, don't look at a season as something that you can never go through. Some seasons you can go through again. And don't put a time on that season of growth. Growing pains, man, they hurt. They hurt, but they're necessary. They're grooming you, they're strengthening you for the next level. And then I recently met some people who come into my life that are so perfect, and it's not that they're a perfect person or perfect people, but it's like they're perfect for the timing. I'm ready to accept new friends for this level of my life, new relationships for this level of my life. And if they had come any sooner, I probably wouldn't have seen their value, I probably would have pushed them away thinking that it was going to be the same thing as before. Same situations I've been through with friends before, same situations I've been through with relationships before. And now I'm like, okay, I'm seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. So I just want to tell you guys that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And the past few months I didn't post. There were so many suicides and so many overdoses that happened. There's a girl in my high school who passed away a few weeks ago, God rest her soul, with her boyfriend from overdose. And it just really, it was actually the same day that Mac Miller died. I remember it because I remember hearing on Instagram that Mac Miller died, and I saw on Facebook that this girl died. And I was later told that her boyfriend died with her too. So it just told me, like, hey, it doesn't matter what point you get to, do not feel as though the option is hurting yourself or the option is taking drugs to numb the pain. You gotta talk, you gotta find your outlet, whether it's making music, whether it's drawing, whether it's working out, running, whatever you have to do, find your outlet to adapt to the challenges in this life, because the only person who's going to lose at the end is the people who love you, and you're not proving a point to them by taking your life, and I know it's easier said than done to find someone to confide in about your problems because you feel like you could be judged, but just find your outlet. It doesn't even need to be another person. Just find your outlet and just have faith that, this is just a season and it's not going to last forever. I'm not sitting here speaking as a professional psychiatrist or psychologist or somebody who has, experience, obviously, because I wouldn't be here if I knew exactly what that was like. But I have days where it's like, man, it's like, who can you turn to? And for me, with my faith, obviously I can always turn to God, but not everybody believes in God. And so I feel like it's important to really enforce that aspect of having an outlet. That outlet can be your faith. That outlet can be activities other than drugs, other than something that harms you. Even writing, man, journaling helps a lot. Journaling helps you really know yourself. So, turn to that. Things are, you may be looking at, like, I think a lot of these people are looking at other people's portrayal of their lives on social media. Like, I'm not saying that's the answer. That's the reason why everyone's doing this. But it does, like, you can't say that social media is just a trivial thing. No, it has a psychological effect on all of us. I saw a post the other day where, was it Kanye West? He was saying that he didn't want people to have likes on their pictures or whatever, or be able to see who liked what they post, because they quantify their worth based on how many likes. But people, especially like a lot of impressionable young teenagers, they do feel a type of way. Even like, come on, everybody has that moment where they posted something and they're like, oh man, like, look at this person though, they have this many likes, or like, how come this post didn't get that many likes? And it's like, it really doesn't matter, because it kind of, I think the reason why everybody's feeling that way is because your social media platform is an extension of yourself. It's an expression of yourself. And so you're kind of putting it out there for the approval of others. Like, nobody just, I mean, the thing is, right, we put it out there and it gets likes. And you feel good about yourself if everyone's complimenting it and saying, oh, that's great, oh, you look great, oh, that's a nice picture you took. If nobody says that, some people feel really bad. And it's like, you shouldn't, because the quality of the picture is still there. The quality of that extension of yourself is still there. And not everyone's going to acknowledge it. It's just like in real life, sometimes you may, like, for example, go to the office, dressed from head to toe, you got your suit, you got your dress, whatever, you know, and nobody says anything. Does that mean that you didn't look nice that day? No. Maybe they didn't notice, maybe they were hating. Doesn't really matter. All you can do is realize that, hey, are your intentions to please them or to make yourself happy? And if your intentions are to make yourself happy, it shouldn't matter what the feedback is. So yeah, it's this whole thing. I think a book should be written about it if it hasn't already. But at the end of the day, you need to elevate yourself and appreciate yourself, even if it's by yourself. Okay? And the right people will come along in your life. And they do. They really do. You just have to be patient, and you have to not be looking for it. Like, recently I had a situation where, you know, I wasn't looking for something and I found it. And it's like, that's when it happens. Like, you know, I think it puts pressure on yourself and the universe when you're like really looking for something and the universe is like, oh, let me just hide it even longer. Like, I remember I was taking out one of these earrings. I lost the back of it, and it was just like, it fell, I don't know what happened. I think I did like an extra flick of my finger, and it like ricocheted the back of this earring somewhere crazy in my room. And since I just started going off in a frantic frenzy looking for it, I couldn't find it for days. And then I think I happened to just be sitting on my bed one day, and I felt it on my bed. I'm like, what? It definitely fell on the floor, but I'm like, you know, I'm not even gonna question it. What's the moral of the story? I found what I was looking for when I wasn't actively looking for it, actively stressing about it. So I think the same could be said about life in general. When you least expect it, you're gonna find it. Don't stress yourself out, especially, this applies to both guys and girls. I know like relationship talk is really catered to girls because it's a lot of cultural influence on it, that it's harder for girls to find someone that they're, you know, they've been wanting. But the qualities that you're looking for, they'll be there. But don't force it on anybody. Same with guys. Don't force those qualities on anybody. If the person that you're dealing with doesn't have those qualities, then just leave them peacefully and keep it moving, you know? Like, and don't feel bad if you don't meet their expectations either. Just keep it moving. I want to shout out some things about this vegan process that I've been going through. I cannot stop looking at my skin. Like, my skin has usually been soft. I always get compliments about it, but it's a combination, I think, of my diet and what I've been using. So I just tried this new product. It's Sephora Radiance Cleansing Foam, and you put it on when your face is dry, and it comes out as a foam. You just moisturize let it sit for like 5 minutes and wash it off. And then let me see where this other cream is. I got this Clinique Moisture Surge 72-hour auto replenishing hydrator. So I use it every few days before bed, and then obviously I drink a lot of water, but I think it really has to do with my diet. Like in just 4 days, even before this vegan diet, right? Like I was eating a lot more green leafy vegetables and citrus fruits and all that, and I started noticing the difference. And even my neck cleared up. I eliminated a lot of different foods from my diet, like grains, and I noticed that some grains were giving me like a rash when I ate them. So like these what's the name of this food? I think it's called Harvest something. It's like a granola type of cereal. I cut that out because I noticed I was eating that. That was like months ago though. I stopped eating cereal and my neck was just breaking out. I'm like, I never break out on my neck. So I stopped eating that. I just started trying to eat a lot cleaner, and you can just see the shine. Like all I did this morning was wash my face with water because I'm gonna shower later. And this is just my natural face right now. So even I'll just take my glasses off so you can see like my eyes, under my eyes, like it's a lot more moisturized, because when you don't moisturize here, it kind of like looks a lot more wrinkled. But yeah, trust me, this makes a huge difference. Eating right. These glasses seem really crooked. Or maybe it's the way that my hair is. Maybe my face is crooked. But it's pretty much what's been going on. I'm gonna come back in and tell you guys at the end of the 28-day challenge how it's been going, what transformations I see, whether it's weight, whether it's inches, whatever. Like, I just want to be at a healthy place. I'm not even really focused on the numbers. I'm just focused on how I feel, because I've always been confident in my body, no matter, like, my weight's always fluctuating, but as long as I feel confident and energized and healthy, I'm good. And then of course the good results will follow from there. So I just want to put less pressure on saying I must lose this much weight or whatever, and just keep it moving. But so far I'm liking what I see. So let me know if there's anything you want to see, whether it's a makeup tutorial. I know Rihanna's coming out with like a bunch of like random little lip glosses and lipsticks and like eyeshadow palettes. So let me know if you want me to try any of those out, or any other new products, or any lifestyle tips that you want me to emphasize. What else? That's pretty much it for now. So until next time, deuces.